What if having acne had nothing to do with your skincare and had everything to do with the gut-skin hormone triangle? I struggled with acne for over 15 years, and like you probably, I was put on round after round after round of antibiotics. And they helped short term, but then the second I came off of them, my skin was worse. Does this sound familiar? And the most frustrating part was that these antibiotics came from dermatologists. They were the people that were supposed to help me the most. But after every appointment that was usually 60 to 90 seconds long, I left feeling more insecure and more hopeless, and they would just throw another pill at me. What finally changed for me was realizing that my acne wasn't just an outside-in problem, but that it was an inside-out problem connected to my gut, hormones, and blood sugar. And once I focused there, I cleared my acne naturally in 30 days with zero restriction, a 3-step skincare routine, and zero overwhelm, using my Clear Code blueprint. And I've helped over 1,000 women over the past 12 years do the same thing. So in this video, I'm going to explain the gut-skin hormone triangle for you in depth to help you understand why the gut health piece is a missing piece for clear skin, but also too why you're so confused about it. I have a feeling if you're here, you either have been bloating or have diarrhea or constipation, or nothing feels wrong, but someone's told you your gut health could be the reason you have acne. So I really want this video to be really comprehensive. Sit down, grab a cup of coffee, take some notes. Let's start with a myth that I see all the time about gut health and your acne. And this myth is that I need a gut health test to tell me why I have acne. We don't use gut health tests, microbiome tests, or any type of poo test in the Clear Code. Here's why. Number one, they are only accurate in that moment. They can change in 2 hours. The entire microbiome in your gut can change in 2 hours. For real. And number two, let's say your test shows up with something that could be negatively impacting your skin. What do you do now? What action steps do you take? Most clients that come to me have had these gut tests done and they end up more confused. They think there's something broken when in fact there isn't, and they're fine. So there are 2 parts to the gut-skin hormone triangle. Number one, the gut as an ecosystem. And number 2, the gut-skin connection. We're going to discuss them one at a time, okay? The gut as an ecosystem. So first things first, you got to know this. Your gut holds 3 pounds of bacteria from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? And it's about 500 to 1,000 species living inside you. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. 90% of your serotonin can be created in your gut, your happy hormone. And I actually really want to use this visual of an ecosystem for you to understand why gut health is so complex. You know, like those little domes. I'm going to share a graphic on the screen. The little worlds that live in a bubble, right? So within your gut, within this ecosystem, within this dome, you have bacteria, fungi, all these different things, right? And generally speaking, we could categorize bacteria into positive or negative. Believe it or not, there's a lot of good bacteria that we need. It kills bad things, keeps us alive, helps us process food. We need good bacteria. And then we have bad bacteria or fungi that also doesn't help things. We need it out. And this ecosystem, this bacteria, thrives on what you're putting in your body. Certain foods, certain drinks, probiotic, prebiotics, anything that you're putting into your mouth, basically, either feeds or starves good or bad bacteria. So for example, let's say we have bacteria A, okay? It's a good type of bacteria, helps digest well, helps you poo, we love it. Then you have bacteria B, and this is a bad type of bacteria, okay? It irritates your intestinal lining. It creates a lot of malabsorption in your food. It really prevents you from holding on to nutrients and or getting rid of nutrients. We don't like bacteria B. And then let's say you eat certain foods every week, typically. Let's say you're having a bagel with cream cheese for breakfast, lunch is a Caesar salad, dinner is like a pasta with a meat sauce. Okay, it's not too bad. However, most of these foods, simple carbs, for example, cause bacteria B to grow and to flourish within this 3 pounds of gut health, okay? Within this little ecosystem, within this dome. And so again, to use this dome experience, right, this ecosystem, when you think of the bacteria that's growing, the fungi that's growing, try to think about it like 2 rival gangs, for lack of a better example, that are fighting over turf and territory, okay? So let's say you're eating that type of food. It's feeding the B bacteria. So this is growing. It's taking up real estate, taking up space. And as a result, the good bacteria that we want to keep in our body, bacteria A, it has less food, less real estate to take up. There's only so much space in your body, right? So it starts to die, wither. It isn't growing and replicating as much as bacteria B. You got a problem. You won't be able to absorb food as well. You won't be able to assimilate nutrients the way you want. You won't have the vitamins and minerals that you need. You won't get everything that you need. Let's talk about the reverse. Let's say you wake up and first thing you do in the morning is have a big glass of electrolyte water, for example. So lemon water, maybe some Himalayan sea salt, big glass of water. Great. Kickstarts your digestion, supports an overall not acidic but balanced environment. And then you whip up a high protein Greek yogurt breakfast. It has Brazil nuts, almonds, berries. You have a quality probiotic. Then for lunch, you have a 5-veggie arugula salad with some tuna and kombucha on the side. Or for dinner, you have a salmon bake with Brussels sprouts, kale, and sweet potato. And then for dessert, you have a turmeric coconut latte. A lot of these foods feed bacteria A, the good bacteria, right, which is what we want. So it starts to grow and replicate and take up space and take up real estate in this little ecosystem that you have. And as a result, bacteria B can start to wither, die. It doesn't have the food and the nutrients that it needs. And as a result, you're able to better absorb nutrients. You are going to the bathroom more regularly, and it's a nice consistency. It's not water and it's not tiny little rocks, right? You don't want to be super constipated or have a lot of diarrhea. You want like a really nice consistency. You get what I'm saying. However, and here's where the complexity of all of this comes in and why we don't use gut health tests in the Clear Code. Let's say it's Friday night. You've had a great week. You're tired. You order some delicious General Tso's, okay? Delicious Chinese food. It's delightful. You scarf it down. And like an hour later, you start to feel a little rumbling in your tummy. We all know the feeling where it's like, oh, right? And then a few hours later, you are in the bathroom for hours and you're going to the bathroom a lot. So you have like pretty significant diarrhea. In this case, you'd probably potentially have a mild to moderate case of food poisoning, depending on the severity of things. Severe is usually vomiting, right? So if you go to the bathroom a lot after you eat specific food, you probably just have a mild case of food poisoning. What happens, that being said, is that potentially all the bacteria we were just talking about, the good and the bad, they can be seriously impacted from a population perspective. So say this food poisoning. Food poisoning is just bacteria. It's bad bacteria getting into your gut and wreaking havoc. When that gets in there, it can kill all the other ones. Again, I don't want to go really deep into the biology of this, but I want you to understand it at a high level. And so let's say you were doing great. You were feeding bacteria A and suddenly you get food poisoning. All of that work that you were doing, you might have to kind of redo again or build back up the growth and the health of that bacteria in your system. These changes, though, as you can tell, can happen so fast. And it's another reason too, if you ever got traveler's diarrhea. I went to Bali for a while a few years back and I was sick quite a lot. And my body just like didn't like it. And literally every time you eat food, you drink water from a tap or even from your Brita, or you're grabbing a kombucha. Every time you're eating things, you are ingesting bacteria, believe it or not. And especially if you're traveling, you were probably going to encounter maybe some bacteria your body's never seen before, or in quantities it's never seen before, which is why you can get traveler's tummy and get diarrhea when you travel. So full circle, you have this ecosystem of a bunch of different bacterial species, fungal, all these different things happening from your mouth to your gut. Okay? They are impacted daily, even hourly, by the food that you're eating, the water that you're drinking, depending on where you live, how much you're traveling, how much you're sleeping. And this microbiome is very easily impacted by external circumstances, which is why I don't do gut health tests, because a lot of these things can change very, very quickly. And also, there's a lot of bacteria that can sometimes hang out that's not necessarily great. You know, it's not bacteria A or B. It kind of sits in the middle. And so you want to tolerate a lot of variety from a gut health perspective for your body. You know, you're never going to have a sterile environment, for example, in your gut. It's always going to be filled with a lot of different things. Your gut health is essentially a rainforest. You have the grass on the ground that supports the growth of the trees. And then the leaves that fall, right, in let's say fall or winter. They actually feed the nutrients in the grass. Like it's this whole ecosystem that works together. I'm really going deep into this because I feel like when I speak with potential applicants for the Clear Code, everyone is so confused about their gut and why. Like, oh, I took a gut health test and it didn't really mean much. This is why. It's very complex. So that being said, let's go a little bit more deeper into the science of how this impacts your skin by talking about number 2, the gut-skin connection. Here's what research shows. This is medical research. I'm going to flash a bunch of studies. I don't want you to feel like you have to go really deep in this, but I want you to understand the science. Your gut and your skin are barrier organs. They're both deeply connected to your immune system. And when your gut is balanced, your skin barrier stays healthy. So certain studies show intestinal microbes don't just influence digestion, they can impact skin cell turnover, immune signaling, and even the skin microbiome itself. from a microbes and inflammation perspective. Long story short, when the gut barrier is compromised, so you have like leaky gut or intestinal permeability, bacterial products and toxins can enter the bloodstream and accumulate into your skin, disrupting skin health. There's also the gut hormone loop, okay? A high sugar Western diet can often raise insulin and IGF-1, which overstimulates a pathway that leads to oily skin and acne. The gut microbiome regulates this pathway, and acne is influenced by oil production, overproduction of skin cells, inflammation, and bacteria. Two more. We have the stress and your acne link. So stress changes our gut bacteria. It weakens your gut barrier and it sends inflammatory signals to your skin. It can alter gut microbes, it can increase intestinal permeability, and it can make inflammation worse. Number 5, the one that really blew me away when I was really beginning my acne clearing journey, has to do with probiotics in your acne. Probiotic supplementation has been shown to improve skin barrier, hydration, and reduce sensitivity. And in acne, probiotics can reduce inflammation, normalize insulin signaling, and even suppress bacterial increasing, okay? So here are some examples. I'll share them on the screen so that you can see these specific bacterial strains have positively impacted your skin. And also too, we see this. For example, let's say you have a yogurt right now, check the back. You can see, especially if it's a good yogurt, it'll have live bacterial cultures. You will probably see Lactobacillus acidophilus in some of your yogurt. That's a positive, healthy, good bacteria that you want for your gut health. That's why things like yogurt, kimchi, kombucha, prebiotic and probiotic foods are really good for your gut because they have a lot of good bacteria, that bacteria A. So this is the gut-skin hormone triangle in action. I hope this makes a little bit more sense. Your gut impacts your hormones and your nutrient levels, which impacts your skin, and then you have a constant feedback loop, okay, of these three working together, constantly speaking to each other. So when you pair the information that I just shared, so the science, with the understanding that your gut is an ecosystem, you can kind of see how hard it is to address these gut health challenges, how complex this is via these fundamentals, and why it's so hard to address gut healing for acne in a really effective way, especially by just taking a test or something. It doesn't really give you the full picture. There are so many modes of gut healing, right? You could go deep into candida cleanses or H. pylori cleanses, all these different pathways, right? For my education, for what I applied in my thesis for my nutrition certification, and what I've found paramount to healing these issues within the Clear Code protocol system are the application and combination of two holistically focused healing frameworks. We have the 4R approach and the DGIN approach. In the Clear Code, we combine these two approaches via our customized meal plan. So this is what this looks like. The 4R approach is a proven step-by-step framework to restore gut health, which plays a huge role in acne clearing. So what this means is we remove what's harming the gut, we replace what's missing, we inoculate the gut with healthy bacteria, and we repair the gut lining with nutrients. So when I say remove, do not think that means remove all different foods. Please, it just means we're removing a lot of inflammatory, high sugar, high inflammation foods, okay? And we're focusing on crowding them out with nourishing foods from an acne perspective. When you follow these 4 steps in order, you create a healthier gut environment naturally, which often means calmer, better skin. However, you have to combine those 4 with the DGIN model that looks at digestion from a perspective of having many different details. So you have digestion, intestinal permeability, gastrointestinal microbiome, immune function, nervous system. So for each of these issues, we focus on 3 main questions in the Clear Code. Number 1, how is your body digesting food? Number 2, how is your body absorbing nutrients? And number 3, how is your microbiome functioning? From a digestion perspective, in the Clear Code, we go beyond general tips and we really try to focus on low stomach acid, enzyme insufficiency, or bioflow and how that's impacting your skin to build the right plan for your body instead of guessing. And a simple action step you can take is to try adding in a small amount of bitters before meals. So like arugula, lemon water, even a tiny splash of apple cider vinegar. They naturally stimulate stomach acid and digestive enzymes to really help break down food better. For the second question, the absorption, this is huge from an acne perspective. And in the Clear Code, we don't just add in a bunch of food randomly. We identify where nutrient absorption challenges are being blocked from gut health permeability, like intestinal permeability, balances, hidden sensitivities, and we create a step-by-step plan so that you can actually use the vitamins and minerals that you are eating in your food. It's wild to think, but like a lot of times when you're eating food, you're not necessarily using all the nutrients that you're eating. A simple action step you can take to address this would be adding in a lot of zinc-rich foods, so like pumpkin seeds, oysters, omega-3, so like salmon, chia seeds, to really help lowering inflammation. And again, if you're eating all these foods, you might not be absorbing all of the nutrients, but some. From a microbiome perspective, so from that overall ecosystem perspective, the bacterial perspective, you have to be really careful. Let's say you've never taken a probiotic before. Do not grab the 100 billion organism one at the store. Please, I beg you, you will be going to the bathroom. All right. You want to start slow. Not everyone can tolerate a lot of high fiber, high probiotic foods right away, but depending on where you are, dysbiosis, candida, you have to kind of customize what you are doing from a gut health perspective based on your symptoms. That's what we focus on in the Clear Code. And a simple action step that's going to ensure that you're probably not going to like poop your pants, but you're still going to get a lot of good stuff, good results, would be to introduce more fiber diversity. So changing up the foods that you're adding in weekly. So what that could look like, for example, would be adding in beans this coming week. Now make sure they are soaked overnight. Raw beans, like not raw, but like not well cooked beans can be tough. I like lentils. I find those to be really easy on my gut health. Something like beets, carrots, things that definitely support overall positive digestion, but aren't going to like really make you go. Those are key. So how does all of this sound? I have a feeling it'll probably be slightly overwhelming, but also rather enlightening and make you think, oh, this is why this has been so tough. And if it clicked for you and you're like, this is why I've been struggling with my acne, we have an acne personality quiz that'll help you identify, is it blood sugar management, gut health, or hormones that's primarily impacting your skin? You can grab that via the link below. It's a maybe 6-minute quiz that will really start to clarify what's going on for you so you can get started on clearing your acne naturally. Or if after watching this, you've realized that you just want support, you've been on this treadmill for a while, you've tried a lot of different things on your own and they haven't worked, and you want someone to guide you through all of this, that's what we do in the Clear Code program. The program itself is application only because I always want to make sure it's going to change your life before we enroll you. But that being said, within 24 hours of joining, we define your root acne triggers by mapping your acne strategy. We determine the action plan by defining your customized Clear Code. We nourish your skin from within daily, following a simplified skincare and supplement strategy designed for you. We chart your progress week over week and analyze the data to create a lifestyle, aka your Clear Code, that you can actually follow for life in a sustainable way so that you get clear skin naturally in a way that you can actually sustain. You have a lifestyle plan to keep your skin clear for good. So if you'd like this, please apply via the link below. We'll hop on a free discovery call. We spend 35 to 40 minutes going deep into your acne history, what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't, and I will be very honest about whether or not we can help. We don't say yes to everyone because I always want to make sure it truly is the right fit and that it will change your life. That being said, I would love to see if we could help, so apply via the link below. Thank you for being here. If you would like to see more of our videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new one, and I will see you in the next one.